What if the truth about humanity's most mind-bending technology is buried beneath layers of classified files and deniable operations? Welcome to a world of shadow labs, psychic weapons, and experiments that never officially existed. In this Fringe-inspired episode, we're exploring the eerie intersection of conspiracy and possibility, the idea that secret government black projects have already changed the course of human evolution. Through tarot, we'll peel back the curtain on hidden agendas, suppressed discoveries, and the chilling question, how much is still being kept from us? Let's begin. Hello everybody, welcome back, and welcome if this is the first time you've been on this channel. As always, we are going to hop right in to the first question on this Episode 8, Fringe-inspired. So the first question that we're going to ask here is, who is funding or protecting the black operations? Who are the real power players here? Military, maybe? Corporate? Off-world? Allegedly? Let's see what the cards have to say. We have fantasy. Whoop, there it goes. Some of them just want to hop out and have their message. So as you can see, we're starting with Oracle. It's what I do through all my episodes because Oracle doesn't care what I think. It doesn't read my mind. Reign of Fire. Great movie. Great movie. If I had to choose, I would say that's probably my all-time favorite movie, is Reign of Fire. And Release. Whoa, there goes. Gonna be one of those shuffle days, huh? All right. Bringing Up Baby. I can't tell you how many episodes, whether it be Fringe, Twilight Zone, even Simpsons, that I am actually getting Bringing Up Baby a lot. Okay, so the question again was, who is funding or protecting the black operations, allegedly? I feel like it's saying here that it's kind of above our pay grade. There's a higher purpose here that we aren't privy to somehow or another. And that is keeping us from getting the information that we want to know from this specific question. But with Reign of Fire, it is telling us that it is power people. People with a fiery passion. People who let absolutely nothing stand in their way of getting done what they need to do. They have, I think, seen and done everything that you could possibly think of and survived it. So they are qualified, apparently, to run these black operations as they see fit. It says release here on this card, and I feel like this is saying you just need to release the idea of ever really knowing or following up on or trying to find whatever it is that you really want to find where these black operations are concerned. We're being asked to release any plans to do that and to just live our lives as normal humans as much as we possibly can. So let's see what else we have. We have signs, nostalgia, and I've never been to me. There's a lot of people, I think, that have been looking for specific signs to answer the question about these black operations. And some people feel like that they have actually, what do I want to say, actually discovered some things that didn't quite pan out. For others, they have information from family members that this operation was like this. Maybe their family members were a part of it. I know my own father was a part of Project Blue Book, but because he worked for NSA, I was not allowed to have any idea what he did. So I still, to this day, he's passed long ago, but still to this day, I have no idea what he really did for a living there. So some people might have some nostalgia about things that they think that they've discovered. But again, it's asking us here not to worry about who is funding these operations, who is protecting these operations. These are very powerful people, and it is above our pay grade. So for now, it's maybe better for us to focus on discovering who we are. And it could be humanity, it could be individually. This card says, I've never been to me. And if you've never heard the song by Charlene, worth listening to. Really listening to. So this is something that is probably should be more of our focus, is getting to know ourselves, because that's going to lead us somewhere, and perhaps away from here. It wouldn't be suggested if it wasn't important. So let's see what the tarot has to add to this. All right, we have 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is work we're not supposed to know about. It's an 8 of Pentacles. We can continue working at trying to figure it out, but it's still above our pay grade. And we have 7 of Wands. These people have the power to defend what they do, no matter what it is. Even if we found out something, couldn't do anything about it, because they're the ones with the power right now, and that needs to be recognized. They will defend what they're doing. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles. They're saying here that they feel like if we just harmonize with life, or I should say, if we just release going after these black ops situations, if we just move on with life, we would be definitely much happier in life without sharing our life with this kind of situation. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, they're trying to plant the seed to say, just live your life. This is important. You need to just live your life. You are your life, so yeah. Queen of Wands. I feel like this Queen of Wands is saying, we can let you see signs if that's really, really what you want, but we're not going to allow you to see much. Little bits and pieces. And with nostalgia and the Hermit, going back in memory and trying to figure out what you may have already seen, what you know, to try and, again, infiltrate what these black ops situations are. Probably not a wise move. It's probably better to spend your time on you. And with I've Never Been to Me, we've got the Three of Swords, which for me, in this case, is a growth of knowledge. Learning to communicate better with yourself before worrying about all this other stuff. You're much more powerful, and I think this might be where it's going. You're much more powerful when you are sure of who you are and what you're capable of. So let us clean up these cards and see what question 2 has to share. And if you're new to my channel, the cleanup process is a little slower than what you may have seen on other channels. I do this because I want to make sure that if I get duplicate cards, that the cards I get because they're meant to come out and not because I didn't shuffle properly. So this ensures that I get ahead of the game on the shuffle. I do the same thing with the Oracle cards. Just pick them up at random, place them somewhere within the pile. And that way when they're shuffled and split, if I get duplicate cards or repeat cards, I know they're meant to be repeated. They're important. All right, so question 2. What kind of experiments are being hidden from the public? Is this like fringe tech or forbidden tech? Mind-altering research? Ooh. Ain't no mountain high enough. Midnight train to Georgia. There it is again, bringing up baby. Seems to always find these readings. It's very interesting. Streetcar named Desire. So the question again was, what kind of experiments are being hidden from the public? For some people, I feel like this is saying there is no obstacle that is tall enough, wide enough for them to miss going over or through to find out the information that they want to find out about these experiments. Obviously, the experiments are hidden in the fog purposely. They do not want the public to know what is going on. They perhaps also try to put these experiments in places that are very obscure, that we cannot seem to find. But there are those who have incredible determination to find out what it is actually that is going on. Midnight train to Georgia. Again, the cards are saying you need to not worry about this and go back to living a simpler life or trying to live a simpler life. Return to your roots. Find out who you actually are. Be authentic. Realize that fame and fortune is not all it's cracked up to be. And again, go back to living a life, raising children if that's what you're doing or want to do. Don't hesitate to do that. Do what you desire. divine timing, man trap, hand-me-down world. Okay, so there's divine timing to pretty much everything. You can bet if any information was actually uncovered, really uncovered, it would be in a divine timing that was just right for us to know. Everything is divine timing. So right now they're saying what divine timing is saying is that you need to get back to yourself. You need to start growing your own food, start learning about herbal medicine perhaps. Whatever it is that takes you back to you, takes you back to your roots. Because these experiments that we are told a little bit about, they are literally a trap, a man trap. Something to keep us from learning and doing the things that we actually need to do for, I guess, our own survival. And with hand-me-down world, they prefer us to live in a broken system. That's where the trap is. If we're paying attention to these things and we're not paying attention to ourselves, this is perfect. They can destroy our planet while we're looking over here. They're very, very good at decoys. So let's see what Tarot has to share with this. All right. Page of Wands. Yeah, they do their best. They literally do their best to put out messages that have a fire to them, something that we would definitely be interested in. And they're very good at doing that. Eight of Cups. Yeah, they're saying walk away from this and start moving towards an authentic life. Doing for you, learning the things that you need to learn to survive off the land if necessary. Six of Swords, that's peace of mind for me. Harmonize your mind with your life, with your children if you have them. And if your children are pets, that's okay too. But harmonize your life, get peace of mind, and don't worry about things that you have no control over. The Chariot. Yeah, we have a streetcar and we have a chariot. So movement forward with your own desires. That's what is important. Divine timing, we have the High Priestess. Yes, everything is a secret until it's not. And there's a lot of secrets beyond the veil. There's a lot of secrets until divine timing says it's time for us to know. And then we have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, this is not a great place to end up. Ten of Swords is, well, in some cases, to me, it is the ultimate communication. In this case, when it says man trap, I'm taking this card to mean you better pay attention to that, because otherwise it's your destruction. Hand-me-down world, we have Five of Wands. Yeah, they love competing with one another to see how they can break this world. Who's doing the best job at breaking this world of these people? So let us get this cleaned up again and see where question 3 goes. And for those who are new to the channel, if you are hearing odd sounds in the background of this video, and if you've watched other videos of mine, you know that I have a Chihuahua, and that Chihuahua, his part in these videos is to snore as loudly as he possibly can so that you know he's there. So most of my videos will have snoring in them, occasionally a bark or two. And I did at one point in time stress over this, thinking that all of my videos had to be as pristine as possible. However, I live with a dog. I live with a husband. There's noises there in the neighborhood. There's motorcycles going by. It is life. So I've had to kind of relax a little on that. Okay, so question 3, has the line between science and the supernatural already blurred? So are they tampering with realms beyond our comprehension? So in other words, other worlds, alternate realities, and so forth. Mask. Ball of fire. Let your love flow. Winter. All right, so with mask, the question again, has the line between science and the supernatural already blurred? So are they tampering with things we can't even comprehend? So with mask, if you look at this card a little closer, you can see the main mask in the center, but there's masks all the way around, and you can just imagine that there would be a pile that kind of went a good distance. They are masking everything that they're doing and making it look like, oh, we're doing this. However, what they're doing behind the scenes is something completely different. I feel like they're going super fast, kind of like a meteor. And we have ball of fire here, moving as fast as a meteor right now with all of the different things that they are working with. I feel like they're going super, super fast. Again, we are being asked to stay in the love vibration, a higher vibration. It is a protection for us, but it's also a way to stay in tune and stay connected with what's important and with our authentic expression. Eventually, again, if we consider the divine timing card that we had before, eventually things are going to cool down. They're going to have to, or come to a screeching frozen halt, perhaps, for these people that are trying to move so quickly. Man on fire, there it is again. Tarzan and his mate. And come and get it. So this man on fire is almost a duplicate of this ball of fire. They're pushing the limits, literally pushing the limits. And so I'm going to say, yes, the line between science and supernatural has definitely been blurred. There are things that they are doing that, again, we probably cannot even comprehend or understand why they would need to do so. They will, again, defend what they're doing. This Denzel Washington in this movie is a bodyguard. They will defend what they're doing. So if we look at Tarzan and his mate, this is going back to the original request of the cards of getting back to the basics. Tarzan does not live in a house. Tarzan does not buy food at a grocery store. He lives in the jungle and survives in the jungle. So they're asking us again, get back to the roots, get back to the basics. And don't be tempted by whatever they're throwing, whatever fiery story they're throwing at us and saying, come and get it. We want you distracted. Come and get it. So let us again pull tarot and see what we have to add. That was a funky shuffle on my part. Yes, as you can hear, my Chihuahua is really going for broke. All right, so Queen of Swords. Yes, they are delivering truth, or what they consider truth, in a very seemingly caring and nurturing way, but it's a mask. What they're sharing isn't truth. No truth. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, it's definitely more than one person working on this ball of fire. And Nine of Cups. By the way, they're human. They appear to be human. Nine of Cups. So this is the wish card. It is the card of love. Almost perfect. 10 of Cups would be perfect. So this is where they wish us to be, is letting ourselves get into that love frequency, which is really powerful, really powerful. And I wish I could remember the other reading. I would put it up for you to look at that talks specifically about love, that love frequency and how important it is. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, when this freezing happens, just to a dead stop, it's going to bring a lot more harmony to life. But again, as we saw in the previous question, it's divine timing. It'll happen when it happens. They're saying when hell freezes over, which, you could see in this. The Devil, yep, they are doing everything that they can to keep us from realizing our own power, keeping us totally distracted by all these possibilities. We have King of Swords. So there's somebody that is communicating, somebody that's very powerful, that is communicating what they're claiming to be as truth. Notice we have Queen of Swords and King of Swords, but they're trying to keep us from going back to who we are naturally, finding our authentic self, being able to be independent when it comes to food and health. And then Ace of Wands, they keep coming up with more and more and more to throw our direction, to keep the subject matters hot so that we do not do these things. All right, so let's see where we're going. So they are definitely pushing the limits on the black ops that they're pulling. All right. So these readings are always so fun for me because I never know what's going to come out of them. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, please consider liking and subscribing, and also sharing with other people to help grow the channel, and commenting. I'd love to see what you're seeing in these cards. I would. So if you would take the time to comment, that'd be awesome. I do the best that I can to respond. So let's see. Question 4. And there are 6 questions in this particular episode. So question 4, how much of what we believe is reality is actually manipulated? Good question. Question is, will the cards answer it, or is it not our business? Circle of life. Wow. Circle of life. Black magic woman. And they're kind of the believing of reality that they're talking about here. You know, have they been wiping our memory? Are the false flag events meant to, what are they meant to do? Is it all illusion? Seven days leave. Can't pick it up. There we go. The bone collector. Okay, so again, how much of what we believe is reality is actually manipulated? I think what they're saying here with this circle of life is we've been told, well, it says birth, growth, and death. There are a lot of things about birth and how we have to register our births and such. That is not a natural thing. There's things being said or things that are known about that, allegedly. They are trying to tell us that much of nature is not good for us. We're not supposed to be out in the sun for any length of time. Don't be out in the rain. Don't drink the rainwater. Stay indoors. Keep yourself safe. Nothing about that is natural. Nothing about that is natural. So the reality of what they're telling us is actually making us sick, allegedly. This is the magic that they pull. It is the supernatural power that they use. It's the mental, our mental destruction is what they hope for. They want us to be off on vacation, 7 days leave, on a regular basis. They want our minds just absolutely buried in things that aren't even important, and definitely steering away from here. And with the bone collector, they make sure that the details of the reality that we live are covered. Every little detail is covered. Forgiveness, signs, fried green tomatoes. Normally I would have pulled from this pile. Let's see what it is. Her bodyguard. Okay. So with forgiveness, this is part of the love frequency. This is forgiveness for self. In other words, if you find yourself fascinated with all the black operation stuff and you just really, it's important for you for whatever reason to pursue it, give yourself forgiveness. Allow yourself to understand who you are and why you're doing it. in the process of which, make sure that, if you need to do this, do it. But try to balance it with the things that the cards are requesting, getting back to yourself, your authentic self. Don't bury yourself to the point where there's no time for you, no time to have with family, no time. See my point? And there are signs. There's always signs about what's going on. When people call something a false flag event, it's because they've seen things in the event that just can't be real, that have been created, made to look real. So there's always signs if you're looking for them. And it is a good idea to be aware, just not buried in. And with fried green tomatoes, this is a movie about, it's a very complicated movie, but the end result is love. So again, and we have tomatoes here, growing your own food, love, creating a community, survival. And a lot of this was about survival too. Being true to people that you love, protecting those that you love. So let us pull tarot and see where it goes. Oh, there we go. They just want to jump, and now it won't go back in there. Holy cow, you're going on the bottom. It would not go back in. I know, that would be one of those things where it's like, maybe you should have used the card. But I am bound and determined with these readings not to use jumpers. All right, so we have Seven of Pentacles. Yes, this is planting the seed, the patience card, okay? They're trying their best to plant the seed in our minds to say, live your life. Five of Cups. Yes, because those that we are talking about in this episode are doing their best to disrupt our emotions in every way possible. And they're using magic to do it. It isn't just random. Then we have Five of Wands. Yep, they want to make sure that we have no idea what our energy is. They want us on leave all the time. And the Nine of Pentacles. The details that they give us are so perfect. They're always telling us how much better life is going to be for us by doing whatever it is that they bring up to keep us distracted. They try to make it look like life is perfection. And maybe for them, life is perfection. But they don't skip a detail in their promotion. And then the Fool. Yeah, it is. Forgiveness is a rocky road. It is. It is, can be a risk, can be difficult, but you can guarantee that it is worth it. Definitely worth it. And we have the Ten of Cups. So the signs that we get, we need to look upon with love. This is the ultimate love card, the Ten of Cups. It can also be illusion. So look upon these signs with an open heart and open mind, but also realize that illusion is possible. You also have incredible intuition. We all do. incredible intuition, and this is like the ultimate intuition card too. So if your intuition is on fire, when you see these signs, pay attention. And then we have the moon. What we are seeing and what we are hearing is only a half-light situation. Imagine yourself on a moonlit night in the woods, and the moon casts shadows, and the wind is blowing a little bit, so you have shadows on the trees and shadows on the ground. Nothing looks the way that it's supposed to, and it can be really scary. That's seeing things in half light. But in the daytime, you could walk through those woods with no fear whatsoever, no worries whatsoever. There would not be a shadow that would bother you. So we need to not be looking at our survival in a half-light manner. We need to realize how important that is, and how we need to be seeing that in the daylight time with clarity, and not what they're sharing with us in half-light mode. All right, so let us move on to question 5 here. As always, this definitely did not take the route that I thought it was going to take. Cards always seem to have a mind of their own. All right, so there's tarot. Let's get these other ones picked up. All right. So question 5. What is the end game? Why keep these experiments hidden? Is it control? Is it survival? Is it evolution? Is it something else? So what is the end game? Why do they want to keep everything so hidden? I know what my brain is saying. Ghostbusters. Don't look back. Die Hard. In the Navy. Okay, so the question again was, what is the end game? Why keep these experiments hidden? Interesting that these two cards here, one is Ghostbusters, so obviously the movie is about these guys here looking for ghosts, busting ghosts. Their Ghostbusters are here to save the world, okay? Don't Look Back is, well, it can be returning to spirit. And, the unbroken love bond that takes place even when a loved one passes. We still love them very much. Some people do spirit communication. That's like embracing the call to talk to those in spirit. How this fits with what is the end game, why they're keeping things hidden, I think they're metaphors literally for it's just, the answers are just beyond the veil, so to speak. Move back the sheer curtain and you would see the answers. They put so much in front of us, so much truth in front of us through television shows and movies and headlines and different things like that. They put it right there in front of us. But it's ghostly enough that we don't know whether to believe it or not believe it. The whole point is to make sure that we stay focused on whatever they throw our direction. And whenever they bring the military into something or say the word military, probably because of movies that people have seen and whatever, right away people are thinking, oh my, it must be serious. It's got to be serious if they're, bringing the military in. No matter what branch of the military we're talking here. Hold on. See what else there is. Good news. No. And Bird Box. Oops. Yeah, a lot of times they're actually trying to tell us that this focus that they're trying to keep us paying attention to. And, using whatever it is that they know from past experience, from testing us with past things, that the military does actually work. And they're always telling us these things are good news. Here's good news. We're sending the military into this country for whatever, okay? But the information that they are actually sharing is a ghost of what is actually going on. So they're saying, no, it isn't good news. No. And in this case with Bird Box, it says, don't open your eyes. And I see the point here with Bird Box and having don't open your eyes. I've seen the movie a couple of times. But if you look up here at Bruce Willis, his eyes are so focused on that burning building or that exploding building, right? He's so focused. So they're saying to avoid getting caught up in this illusion, don't open your eyes. Not that widely. Pay attention to some degree because it can be a part of your survival, knowing kind of what is going on. But again, a lot of what they share with us is hidden. We're not seeing the full picture. And it is by design. Doesn't say necessarily why. Not yet anyway. Let's see what tarot has to share. And you can take Bird Box in two ways. Don't open your eyes and stay focused there, but also keeping us blind to what they're actually doing. So we have the Fool. Yeah, they actually think that we are foolish enough to believe everything that they throw at us. We're not the fools. We have the Two of Cups. And again, this is one of those things where they use loss of a loved one, loss of connection to a loved one due to death or whatever. They use that a lot to gain our attention. Oh, there's this deadly disease that is going to take out your entire family. It's an emotional thing. They're good at it. Strength. Yeah, one of their biggest strengths is making sure that we are paying attention to specific things. Hanging Man. And it is Hanging Man in this deck. This is how they help us see in a different manner. things might be going, maybe a little scary or whatever, but as soon as they mention the military, the perspective changes. Page of Wands. Yep, fiery message they put out there is good news. It's all good news. It's happening for a reason, and that is not true. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Our legacy has to be not believing in the stories that are being made up about the things that they are doing. And they are all, no matter what it is, it's an experiment. It's always an experiment on humanity. Always a way to make us sick, allegedly. Always a way to taint our food, starve us, make us poor, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. And we have Judgment. This is a calling. You can open your eyes if you choose this widely, or keep your eyes closed. It is a calling. What is it that, if you want to get back to your authentic self, which do you choose? Okay, so it's still not telling us why, other than, everything here points to control. Part of me says it is, they just enjoy playing with us. I swear that's like, puppets play with, or puppet masters play with puppets. But puppets aren't living. So let's, I guess, mice in a maze. Kind of like that. So a control thing, or just doing the best that they can to see what works, because eventually they're going to come up with something, or they believe they will come up with something that will destroy life as we know it and make sure that humanity is never the same. All right, so question 6. What signs around us reveal that black projects are active now? And what they're looking for here, I think, is anomalies we might see, glitches, and just subtle shifts in things. So let us see. Too much time on my hands. Ah. Signs. Funny. Independence Day. Fantasy. All right, so the question again was, what signs around us reveal that black projects are active now? Too much time on my hands. If you can see the image, I'll bring it up a little closer. We have a guy sitting there watching the news on television. So it's basically being disconnected, making sure that we are, our focus is on television, on social media, anything like that, and always feeding us bad news, bad news, bad news. And every once in a while, you might get a feel-good story. But that's usually not from them. That's usually from somebody who slipped it in there. So this keeps us disconnected. And that's part of the Black Project. So they're pretty much ongoing all the time. Signs, well, when they start giving information about alien invasion, you start seeing videos of people who have seen UFOs. You start hearing about alien invasion even more. You can guarantee that what you're hearing has a higher purpose. There's a higher purpose to it, and not necessarily a good one. It is just letting you know that games are still afoot. Games are still being played. The distractions. That card pretty much says it all. Radio and bus stop. So yeah, they're doing it through television. They're doing it through radio. Radio is probably more through the music. There's not a lot of ads anymore like there used to be. But there could also be kind of a subliminal radio frequency also. Same with television, same with our phones, allegedly. And this is something that we know has to stop. We have bus stop here. We know it has to stop. And as we discovered, I believe on the first question, or maybe the second, it will stop. It'll get frozen in its tracks. But again, it's all in divine timing. It's when it's meant to happen. We can't make it happen any faster, any differently. So let's see what Tarot has to share. We have Three of Pentacles. Yeah, seems like this is growing all the time. This is how a lot of people's lives are now, is stuck into television and social media. The world. Yep, we'll see videos of spaceships all over the world. Ten of Pentacles. Our legacy will win against the aliens, okay? Or it could be completion of life if they win. But with Independence Day, they actually won against the aliens, so I'm going that route. Beating the aliens is our legacy. The Lovers. So this is a choice card. To believe or not to believe. To understand that, you know, there is a higher purpose to all of this that we really maybe don't understand. So it's a choice to believe or not to believe. And then we have the Four of Cups. Yeah, don't drink if we've got distractions. Don't drink everything they give you. Be selective. Be choosy. Page of Cups. Yeah, they feed. The messages that they feed are meant to hit our emotions somehow. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but a lot of the ads with shows that you watch, say with, well, some of the, you've got Amazon and you've got Netflix and, geez, I don't even know. There's a bunch of them. But the message that they share, or the messages that they share, the shows that they share, all this is meant to blast our emotions. Get them rolling. So that these distractions, it's emotion that's the power. Queen of Wands. Yeah, I think all of us are pretty well passionate about having all of this stop. Literally having it stop. But again, divine timing is what it's all about. Keeping ourselves in the love frequency, getting back to ourselves, getting back to nature, learning how to grow our own food, learning how to heal ourselves, whether it be through herbs or stones or Reiki energy, whatever it is, learning a skill that allows us to heal ourselves and not paying such focused attention to what is going on with, again, whoever is funding or protecting these black operations that we know are happening. Okay, so that is it for this Fringe-inspired episode 8. So I'm going to give you a teaser for next week's episode 9, Fringe-inspired episode 9. So next time, we go even deeper. What if true healing doesn't come from science or spirit, but from an entirely different reality? In episode 9, we explore the possibility that forces from other dimensions are already rewriting our bodies, our minds, and our destiny. Dimensional healing may sound like science fiction, but the truth might already be coursing through us. Don't miss it. So that is the teaser for episode 9. Also on the screen, you'll see that there is a show schedule for the 3 shows that I do each week, and you can see the times on them. So perhaps you would enjoy checking out another show along with Fringe and seeing what you find out. The subject matter on all of these is pretty interesting, and we never know what's going to come out of the cards. So that is it for episode 8. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I've loved having you here. So until next week, have a great one. Take care.